Hello guys, good day. I'm Nurse Jacob Goodness-Wise. I'm here to discuss a very important topic brought to you by Stethoscopes and Sacrifices, a topic of particular concern and of global relevance. Okay, and so today we're going to be discussing malnutrition, which is a silent crisis. Alright, and so today we'll be discussing quite a lot about malnutrition, and we're going to be correcting a lot of misconceptions about malnutrition, because quite a good number of people are aware of malnutrition as undernutrition. Okay, a lot of people don't see overnutrition as a problem, and so today we're correcting that misconception, and we're going to be discussing malnutrition in terms of both the undernutrition and overnutrition. We're going to be looking at the side effects of undernutrition and overnutrition. We'll look at the signs and symptoms, and of course when to see a physician. Please take note that this is purely for educational purpose and not for any form of diagnosis nor treatment. So very quickly, we'll look at the introduction. Now, in a world defined by unprecedented technological advancement and abundant global resources, the persistence of malnutrition remains one of humanity's most profound and solvable paradoxes. Now, the human body needs a variety of nutrients in certain amounts or proportions. Please take note of the word in certain amounts or proportions to maintain its tissues and the various functions that the body carries out. Now, malnutrition happens when the nutrient it gets doesn't meet the required needs or it's in excess. Okay, so you can be malnourished from the overall lack of nutrients, or you may also be malnourished from what? The abundance of the nutrients. Moving on. Now, it is a silent crisis, often masked by diverse forms that cuts across economic prosperity and poverty alike, hindering human potentials from the individual down to the global scale. Now, this note aims to provide a structured academic overview of malnutrition, okay, defining its complexities, detailing its root causes and devastating effects, as well as outlining comprehensive strategies necessary for its eradication. So we're going to be talking about the root causes of malnutrition. We'll look at the devastating effects of malnutrition, and as well we'll outline comprehensive strategies for its eradication. How do we solve issues of malnutrition? How do we completely eradicate malnutrition? And so by definition, malnutrition in its broadest definition is a condition that results from deficiency, excess or imbalance of energy, protein and other nutrients. Now, this term does not solely refer to starvation or deficiency, but rather the World Health Organization classifies malnutrition into three broad groups, in which we are going to be discussing moving forward. Now, the first one is undernutrition. Now, undernutrition reflects a state of not getting enough food or not getting enough of the right nutrients in the right proportion. Okay, and this includes wasting. Now, wasting is what? Low weight for height. Okay, so when your weight is too low to your in proportion to your height, that is wasting. Then we have stunting, which is low height for age. Do you understand? There is an estimate of a height expected per age of an individual. So we have an estimated height per age of an individual. And so when you are not as tall as expected, according to your age, that is stunting. And then we have underweight. Underweight is low weight for age. There is an average weight for every age. And so when compared to your age, the weight is low, that is underweight. The second one is we have micronutrient related malnutrition. Okay, micronutrients. Remember, when we're talking about nutrients that the body needs, they are classified into two. We have the micro and the macro. Now, the micronutrients are those nutrients that the body needs in what? In minute quantity, in just small proportions. And then the macronutrients are those that the body needs in what? In large proportions. And so for the micronutrient related malnutrition now, is deficiency in essential vitamins and minerals, okay, such as iodine, vitamin A, and iron. Those are micronutrients that the body needs in small quantity. And so when the body is not even getting enough of these macronutrients, it's called micronutrient related malnutrition. Are we together? And so the next one we'll talk about is overnutrition and diet related non-communicable diseases. Now, overnutrition has to do with what? Having abundance or excess of these nutrients that the body does not even need as much. Are we together? So when the body needs, let's say 10% and you are giving 100%, that's overnutrition. That's in excess. Are we together? And it also has its side effects, as much as the undernutrition has its own side effects. Now, this includes overweight and obesity, often resulting from excessive consumption of energy-dense, nutrient-poor foods. Now, this is increasingly linked to what diet-related non-communicable diseases like heart disease, stroke disease, diabetes, and certain cancers. Are we together? Please take note of these devastating side effects. I said, overnutrition is often linked to diet-related non-communicable diseases like hypertension, heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and certain cancers. Now, the macronutrients overnutrition, simply what? Having excess of what? Of macronutrients, the nutrient that the body needs in large quantities. When you end up having excess of it, it's called macronutrient overnutrition. Okay, so when the body has excess of protein, carbohydrates, and fats or calories to use, it stores them as fat cells in the adipose tissue. Are we together? So, moving on, let's look at causes and etiology of malnutrition. Now, it is broken down into immediate causes, underlying causes, and basic causes. Now, the immediate causes includes inadequate dietary intake, that is lack of energy, protein, and micronutrients. We have illnesses such as diarrhea, acute respiratory infections, and malaria, which deplete the body's nutrient reserve and inhibits absorption. What are the underlying causes now? We have inadequate care and feeding practices, okay? Poor breastfeeding rates, improper complementary feeding, and lack of essential hygiene knowledge. These are the underlying causes of malnutrition. We have insufficient access to food. Are we together? Including household foods insecurity, lack of diversity in available foods, and high food prices, okay? And then we have inadequate health services and unhealthy environment, okay? So limited access to healthcare, lack of immunization, poor water, sanitation, and hygiene, all are underlying causes of malnutrition. The basic causes now. The basic causes, I'll summarize them, so I'm going to just hit the points and move. So the basic causes are what I call them the fundamental factors that perpetuate malnutrition. First, we have poverty and economic inequality, lack of education and poor knowledge, political instability, conflict and climate shocks, inadequate national and global resource control, malabsorption disorders such as pancreatic insufficiency or inflammatory bowel disease. We have the eating disorders such as bulimia, anorexia nervosa, etc. Mental health conditions such as chronic depression, dementia. We have medical conditions that deplete calories such as cancer, diarrhea, and so on. Then we have chronic stress, overuse of dietary supplements, and binge eating disorders. So, who are those who are mostly at risk of malnutrition? Now, malnutrition does not affect all populations equally. There are those who are most at risk of this condition. Now, specific demographic and situational factors amplify the risk. First, we have children under age 5. Now, children under age 5, they have high nutrient demand due to rapid growth, making them highly vulnerable to stunting and wasting. So, children from ages 0 to 5 have high nutrient demand, okay, due to rapid growth. At that stage, the body is trying to build up, okay? The immune system is getting mature, the body organs are building up, and there is high demand for nutrients. Are we together? And so, if at this age, proper nutrition is not met, they are at risk of what? They are vulnerable to stunting and wasting. Remember, we talked about stunting and wasting. Now, the first 1,000 days from conception to 2 years of age is most critical window. Women. So we talked about children under age 5. Now we're talking about children, women, especially pregnant and lactating women who require increased micronutrients and energy. So we have poor or low income household. I wouldn't want to call them poor, but let's say low income household, okay? And so they have less access to what? Adequate nutrition. Then we have sedentary workers, people who tend to sit for long, which can lead to what? Significant weight gain. So we have the elderly due to physiological changes. There is reduced appetite, mobility issues, and chronic diseases that can impair nutrient absorption. Then we have population in fragile and conflict-affected settings. Then individuals with chronic illnesses like HIV/AIDS, tuberculosis, cancer. All these chronic diseases dramatically increase metabolic demand and hinder nutrient absorption. What are the symptoms of undernutrition? We have low bent weight, prominent bones, depleted fat and muscles. There are thin arms and legs with edema in the belly and face. Then we have stunted growth, weakness and fatigue, irritability, apathy or inattention, dry, inelastic skin, rashes and lesions, brittle hair, hair loss and hair pigment loss, frequent and severe infections, low body temperature, low heart rate and blood pressure. These are symptoms of malnutrition, okay? And so when you notice these symptoms in an individual, these are classical signs or symptoms of what? Of undernutrition. Overnutrition, what are the symptoms? We have obesity, high blood pressure, insulin resistance, and heart disease. Insulin resistance leading to what? Diabetes mellitus. Are we together? So we have heart disease and many other non-communicable, nutrition-related non-communicable diseases. Okay? So let's look at the vicious cycle and the long-term effects. Now, the consequences of malnutrition are severe, okay, extending far beyond the immediate health symptoms to create a detrimental cycle that impacts society for generations. Can we see that malnutrition is not just the casual malnutrition that we see? We said the symptoms extend far beyond the immediate health symptoms, okay? It creates a detrimental cycle that impacts societies for generations. What are the physical and health effects? First, infection. Malnutrition severely compromises the immune system. Are we together? Now, the immune system are otherwise called our body soldiers. Now, what do this immune system do? What does the immune system do? The immune system are body soldiers that helps us in fighting infections. Are we together? They help in combating infections. And so, when the immune system is weak, then it makes the body prone to infection. Okay, they are more susceptible to infectious diseases when the immune system is weak. And so you see that nutrition is one of the ways to help the immune system to be more active. So stunting. It leads to irreversible physical and cognitive deficits. Can we see that it has long-term effects? Now, wasting is the most dangerous form, highly correlated with mortality in children. Then we have micronutrient deficiencies. Iron deficiencies lead to anemia, fatigue, poor cognition function, and then vitamin A deficiency can cause blindness, and so many others. So for the sake of time, we're just going to be hitting the points and we might not amplify them. Are we together? But I would employ us to all go on further research to get more informed about malnutrition, and this would help us to even help others as well. So let's look at the cognitive and educational effects. Remember, we talked about the physical and health effects. Now, the cognitive and educational effects. Severe malnutrition in early childhood can lead to irreparable damage to the brain development. There is reduced intellectual capacity, poor academic performance, and lower educational attainment. The economic and societal effects, reduced productivity, and intergenerational cycle. Now, malnourished mothers are more likely to give birth to low birth weight children, perpetuating the cycle of poor health and poverty. Perpetuating the cycle of poor health and poverty. So, the national GDP losses linked to malnutrition can reach up to 11%, which is a bad number. What is the way forward? Prevention, treatment, and policy. So, addressing malnutrition requires a multisectoral and lifestyle approach, integrating health, agriculture, water and sanitation, as well as social protection. Therapeutic treatment for acute malnutrition. Now, for severely wasted children, the primary treatment involves therapeutic feeding using specialized products like ready-to-use therapeutic food in conjunction with inpatient care for complications or outpatient programs. What are the prevention and long-term interventions? First, nutritional education. Knowledge is power. Information is power. So the first thing is what? Nutritional education. Teach people about it. Create awareness. Let people be informed. Okay? Promoting exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months and approach complementary feeding from 6 months to 2 years. Then we have food fortification, adding essential micronutrients like iodine to salt, iron to flour to commonly consumed foods. Then we have social safety nets, implementing cash transfers, food assistance, and school feeding programs to address economic barriers to nutritious diets. Then we have sustainable agriculture, then the wash improvement. The wash improvement has to do with ensuring access to clean water and sanitation to reduce the burden of infectious diseases that can cause nutrient loss. Where should I see my healthcare provider? Remember I said at the beginning of the study, I said this session is basically for educational purpose. And so I would let you know, just to give you information of what it looks like. But then I would let you know on when to see your doctor. So now, when should I see my healthcare provider about malnutrition? Please contact your healthcare provider if you have recently lost or gained more than 10 pounds unintentionally. So when you lose or gain more than 10 pounds unintentionally, I think is a sign to see your doctor. When you have symptoms of anemia, such as weakness, faintness, apathy, or fatigue, at every slight provocation you're tired, with every little physical activity you're tired, it is not normal. You should see your doctor. then when you think you might have eating disorder. Now, eating disorder is another topic on its own. We have lots of eating disorders like the bulimia nervosa, the anorexia, the pica, and so much. So I think you should do a little bit more research on that. Now, in conclusion, malnutrition is not merely a health failure. It is a failure of equity, development, and social justice. The data unequivocally proves that investment in nutrition yields extraordinary returns, breaking the intergenerational cycle of poverty and unlocking human potential. And so by adopting comprehensive, integrated, and evidence-based strategies from the therapeutic treatment of the acutely ill to the systemic fortification of food and widespread education, the global community can transform this silent crisis into a powerful narrative of the human achievement. The commitment required is significant, but the dividend, a healthier, more productive, and equitable future is immeasurable. And so thank you so much. I believe we will have all learned about malnutrition, even though we didn't give too much details, but I think because of time, we just hit the point. And so I would always advise that you do some more research to find out more information, as that is the power you have. Thank you so much, guys, and see you next time.